Okay, so we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Now, if you look to the right or left of me, you will see here, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's what we've got all there. Right, so now we're going to talk about Golovkin versus Derevyanchenko's fight last night. Video was requested by a few people on Twitter, so I'm doing the video. First of all, I had no interest in this fight whatsoever. I'll tell you why. Let me get a few things out of the way before we start. I like Golovkin. I think he's a good fighter. I think it would help if he would have learned to speak English better, because he can speak English. I think it would have helped his fan base. Canelo, I'm sure, can speak English, but Canelo, to his credit, has fought far better quality fighters, far more consistently. I think he's faced about 18 or 19 world champions, and last time I checked, I think Golovkin had fought about 6 or 7. Yeah, it's something that wasn't that great. But anyway, Golovkin is a good fighter. Let me get something straight. He's a good fighter, okay? And there's a few things before I even go into the review of this fight. First of all, the worst thing Golovkin did was get rid of Abel Sanchez. That was a bad, bad move. Bad move. I'll explain why in a minute. It was a bad move getting rid of Abel Sanchez, and it was a worse move getting Jonathan Banks. Apart from Abel Sanchez being just an experienced trainer and working with Golovkin for so many years, he was also an advisor to Golovkin. Fights he should take, fights he should swerve. But he was also, apart from being a talented and qualified and experienced, a lot of people don't give Sanchez credit for his promotional aspects of Golovkin. Right? To the promotional sides of Abel Sanchez. Abel Sanchez was not only a tactician, but more importantly for Abel Sanchez, he was a gas man. He was a gas man. He was a hype man. And Golovkin needed a hype man behind him. Right? Golovkin can't speak for anything. Big drama show. That's all Golovkin can say. And I fight anyone. Ask my promoter. He sounds like a robot. Abel Sanchez was able to give Golovkin another side to him, because a lot of pressure was put on Abel Sanchez, and Abel Sanchez will tell you all the stories about how he scared Kovalev in training, sparring, and how he punches hard in Gassiev, and how, I mean, I sat down. Listen, I used to talk to Abel Sanchez on a very regular basis, and he told me how he would have fought the greats and how Golovkin would have done this and Golovkin would have done that. Listen, Abel Sanchez told us many stories about Golovkin. Some people call him Fable Sanchez, but I loved Abel because he told the story of Gennady Golovkin, a story that Golovkin couldn't tell himself. And even if he did tell you it, you probably wouldn't understand what Golovkin was saying. So Abel Sanchez did a lot for Gennady Golovkin. He did a lot for him, right? And he made you believe that Golovkin was invincible, even when he wasn't invincible. Golovkin was a good fighter. A good fighter. Good. Not great. Yes, Hamza, good to see you in the room. Forget. Let's go back and retract all this stuff about Golovkin. Golovkin's reputation. A lot of you Golovkin fans are not going to like this, and I could not give a damn. Right? Golovkin's reputation was noted, or based upon the ability of him knocking guys out. Right? Now, here's the rubbish that people come up with. Golovkin in his prime. Well, Golovkin in his prime Who did Golovkin face in his prime to say that he was something spectacular? Who did he face in his prime? Who did he face in his prime? Who's the best fighter you could think of? You think, yeah, he faced that guy and he's going to go down as a Hall of Fame great. Who's the best fighter Golovkin has fought? Take Canelo out the window. Put Canelo to one side, because those fights with Canelo definitely took something out of Golovkin. Are you going to tell me the fight that Golovkin's best known for is his fight with Kell Brook? Moving a guy up from welterweight to middleweight? Really? Or his fight against David Lemieux? Or maybe his fight against Matthew Macklin? Or maybe Daniel Gill? Or maybe Mazarosen, who moved up in weight and buzzed him in the first round? What makes Golovkin so great? If you're going to give me great, give me a legacy. Give me what makes this guy great. And knockout puncher. Well, all right. Who has he knocked out of worth? He couldn't knock out Danny Jacobs. He couldn't knock out Canelo twice. He got backed up by the smaller guy. And again, tonight, he got backed up by the smaller guy in Derevyanchenko. And every time Golovkin doesn't perform or is in a tough fight, surprise, surprise, Golovkin's not well. Golovkin's not fit. Golovkin's not this. Bull. What has happened is the level of opposition has got better. The level of opposition has got better. Oh, I remember Abel Sanchez used to give me the bull about, oh yeah, you know, if you look at Cobby Box, he doesn't get hit that often. Well, yeah, because the level of opposition you were fighting were too scared to hit your back. And when they did hit your back, they were getting knocked over because they weren't that good. They were C-level fighters. What is happening now with Golovkin is because he's getting found out. He's fighting guys that are world-class operators or near world-class. Danny Jacobs, Canelo, Derevyanchenko now. 3 guys he couldn't put away. And Kell Brook, a blown-up welterweight, done nothing at middleweight. Done nothing at middleweight, right? And he couldn't put him away. He couldn't knock Brook out. This is a devastating puncher. And you're putting this guy in the same league as Julian Jackson? Gerald McLennan? This same Golovkin? He would have walked through Marvin Hagler? Are you serious? As Golovkin would say, are you out of your mind? Prime Golovkin. Yeah. What's the difference between prime Golovkin and this Golovkin today? And listen, I like the way you say Golovkin's old. Golovkin's old. Okay. What was Bernard Hopkins when he was beating Tarver and he was beating Pavlik? Huh? What was Hopkins? What was George Foreman, who came out of retirement and come back and was operating? What were those guys? The problem with Golovkin and his career is that Gennady Golovkin was fed patsies. He was fed guys, soft opposition, or guys that who couldn't take his punching power and were not at that level. Look, I sat down and had an interview. I did an interview with Abel Sanchez. He told me over the phone, Dominic Wade was dangerous opposition. Are you out your mind? So we're just talking about the level of opposition with Gennady Golovkin. Let's not talk about DAZN and that $100 million contract. Why DAZN invested in Golovkin $100 million on a 36-year-old? So his career, his 2 fights at Canelo took a lot out of Golovkin. This is what you're seeing here. He got old. No, he didn't get old. In 2 fights, he took some serious punishment in 2 fights against a guy who was naturally smaller than him. Remember, a lot of you fans out there, you Golovkin fans, who always like to say people get exposed, right? You Golovkin fans out there will say, oh, he's going to knock Canelo out because Canelo's smaller than him. Golovkin's going to run through him. Just like you fans again will turn and say, Golovkin's going to run through Jacobs. Golovkin's going to run through Derevyanchenko. On this channel, we told you, Golovkin ain't knocking no Jacobs out. Golovkin The big thing about Golovkin is, sorry, I've been eating food. The big thing about Golovkin is, if he moves forward on you and you stand in the pot, you stand with him like that for the most part, and you move forward and you allow him to get momentum on the front foot, that's where he puts all his power. But if you're a guy that can step off Golovkin, hit him to the body, and get out of the way, or type, and you've got good boxing ability, Golovkin ain't knocking you out that way. You look at Brook; he never knocked Brook out, did he? He never knocked a natural welterweight out, did he? He didn't do it. So all these excuses about Golovkin this and Golovkin that and Golovkin is, the guy isn't that good. He's okay. He's a good middleweight. He ain't an all-time great because he hasn't got an all-time great resume. There are guys he clearly didn't fight. The only guy he fought was really of note, we're really talking about here, is Canelo. That's why Canelo's name is next to Golovkin's name. There is no way that an all-time great puncher should be getting dominated, or not even dominated, or even be close against Canelo, right? The fight shouldn't even be close, based on how you guys perceive Canelo to be. He's a smaller guy. He's a smaller dude. Golovkin's gonna walk through. Golovkin ain't walking through anybody who is of a certain caliber, that can box and is of a certain caliber, world class. Who has Golovkin knocked out who's generally world class? Don't give me Matthew Macklin. Don't give me Daniel Gill. Don't give me Martin Murray. Good fighters, don't get me wrong, but they're not Hall of Famers. They're not guys you're going to say, you know, in the Hall of Fame, he was a real great fighter. He was a real killer. How many killers has Golovkin fought? So let's go back to that 100 million contract with Golovkin. That contract is like a protection. It's like a protection agency. When you sign with DAZN, that basically means if you get to the cards and you're struggling in the fight and it gets to points, don't worry, we'll sort you out. You'll get the win. This is real shit talk here. Sorry, I have to tell you as it is, and I have to be brutally honest about it. Here's an example of that DAZN contract. Here's an example of that DAZN contract. One, let's see, Katie Taylor when she fought the part-time police officer. There's an example of that contract. Number two, Josh Kelly when he fought against Ray Robinson. Those are two examples there of people who've been clearly beat, whooped, and yet the DAZN contract kicks in, which means at the end of the day, they have to turn around and get the decision because there's an investment. If it was the other way around and Derevyanchenko had that DAZN contract in that way, and he had the crowd and he had the fans, and there was more investment in Derevyanchenko will win the fight. So before Golovkin even steps in the ring, he's like 5 rounds up or 6 rounds up because he's got the DAZN deal. That's the truth, regardless of what people may think or may say about Golovkin or anything. You have that protection over you. You've got that protection because you have that contract. And once you've got that contract, that means, unless you get knocked out like Anthony Joshua, I can assure you, if Joshua had gone to points with Andy Ruiz were lost because they have that protection. That's what it is. That DAZN protection, right? As long as you've got DAZN on your back, you're wearing the DAZN cap, and you're part of the DAZN team, then you're going to get looked after. And one of the benefits is just get to points. If you're getting an arse whooping, don't worry. Get to points. We can look after you. We can look after you. So it should be DAZN. We can look after you if you're getting an arse whooping. Now for the fight itself, Derevyanchenko and Gennady Golovkin. I thought Derevyanchenko worked very well for the way Golovkin fans back Golovkin and talk about Golovkin. It was a sheer embarrassment to watch a smaller guy working Golovkin and making Golovkin back up. Not for the first time in his career now, because another small guy made him back up as well. In fact, if I'm correct, was it not that the welterweight Kell Brook made him back up as well? I mean, come on. I mean, these are things that you have to see here that we have to take into consideration and see and really take note of. Yes, he's always been a heavy-handed type of guy, and he dropped Derevyanchenko in the first round. But Derevyanchenko got up. He's not the sort of guy at world level. When you remember Julian Jackson, when Julian Jackson hit you, you didn't have time to get back off the floor to have a conversation with him. He lay you out flat. So Gennady Golovkin is a good fighter. A good fighter. But as he's moved up in class and opposition, people are able to throw more jabs at him to keep him off balance. People are throwing punches back at him, so he's not got the momentum to keep throwing punches all the time. People are not scared of him. Derevyanchenko wasn't scared of him because I believe Derevyanchenko beat him in the amateurs. So, you know, it was a bad night for Golovkin, and even Golovkin admitted it was a bad night. Thank you very much. Are you talking? Listen, let's bring some guys. We talk about knockout guys. James Toney, Roy Jones, you know, Felix Trinidad. What, you know? Oh boy. And Golovkin won't move up. Oh, Ward stuck in Golovkin. Why didn't Golovkin move up to super middleweight? He had so many opportunities to move up to super middleweight. He could have fought Ward. He could have fought Froch. He could have fought DeGale. Now, check this out a second. If Golovkin is getting pushed back by middleweights and light middleweights, who Canelo and Derevyanchenko, what the hell would he do if he'd move up to super middleweight, please? Against guys like Froch, big, strong super middleweight, stroke light heavies. How would he have dealt with that kind of strength? A man handling him and pushing him back. Golovkin's smart, and Golovkin's people know that if he'd gone up to super middleweight, what would have happened? And you're watching it now. He's not that great. He's not that great. But Golovkin fans are the same fans that will turn around and disrespect Floyd Mayweather. They're the same fans that will turn around and disrespect other fighters. Just not that good. He's okay. What makes him great? His resume? That ain't great. Because if you're that great, you should be drawing with Canelo. You shouldn't be getting beat by Canelo. Should you really? You should be blowing guys like Canelo out of there if you're that great. He lost. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he lost. Take the contract away. Take the protection contract away. And just put it as two guys in the ring boxing on a show. You didn't know Golovkin. You didn't know Derevyanchenko. And you watched the two guys. Me, but I thought Derevyanchenko won. Take away all the big drama show and the hype the broadcaster said. Oh, Golovkin's looking off tonight. Broadcasts are full of crap. And so you say, Derevyanchenko's a good boxer. He had a great amateur pedigree. He beat Golovkin in the amateurs. You know, he's a good fighter. No. Oh, Golovkin's not well. Something's wrong with Golovkin tonight. Yeah, he's fighting a guy who's kicking his ass. He's fighting a guy who can actually box. He's fighting a guy that's not scared of him. He's being punched back in the mouth. And it's a different situation. That's what's happened. Golovkin got punched back in the mouth and got punched back in the belly or in the stomach, and he didn't like it. That's what's going on now. Working the body, working the head. Working the body, working the head. So, Derevyanchenko had to fight the judges, the referee, DAZN. So it was an uphill struggle before he even got in the ring. That is A side, B side for you in a nutshell. A side wins because B side's got nothing to offer. So if they give the belts to Derevyanchenko, what happens? Their investment goes up in smoke. It was a bad investment anyway. Yeah, it was a bad investment in Golovkin, and Golovkin made a bad investment in Jonathan Banks. Why? Because this is a guy you've been working with for all your career. Suddenly he's not good enough for you. And what's the fruit of that? Oh, Jonathan Banks is going to show him some new things. He's going to do this and he's going to do that. Okay. Okay. How many fighters has Jonathan Banks trained from scratch? How many guys has Jonathan Banks trained from scratch and took him to being world champion? How many guys has Jonathan Banks trained? Well, first of all, Klitschko was because of Klitschko was trained by Emmanuel Stewart, and then Bashir was going to start training. Then Banks got involved afterwards. That's how Banks got into it. Because originally Banks, Stewart didn't want Banks in the camp, and it was Bashir that got Banks into the camp. So that's another story. Banks didn't train, what's the name? He didn't train Golovkin. He didn't train the undisputed welterweight champion, Cecilia Brakas. So where's all this hype coming about Jonathan Banks? Where is all the hype about Jonathan Banks? And at Golovkin's age, why is he not more active? He should be fighting more regular. Should be fighting more regular. And I've heard Golovkin being sick all the time, and begin to make me think something wrong with this. Something wrong with this dude. Because every time he's sick, how many fights has Golovkin been sick in? He always seems to be sick when he's had fights that don't go his way or not going the way it should be going. But as soon as he knocks the guy out, yeah, Golovkin's fine as well. Never sick after a fight, that. How do you feel about the referee actively helping GGG? He was definitely in on it. Oh, of course. I told you. I told you. If you tune in to watch a DAZN fight, or anyone who's got serious investment in a fighter, if you know one fighter has been seriously invested in, know that like 100 million you invested in a fighter. Same with Canelo. If Canelo steps up and fights Kovalev, and Kovalev gives him and Kovalev is getting on top of Canelo, expect some shady crap to be happening, because they're expecting Canelo to be WBO champion. That's the thing. They're trying to build his legacy. They're trying to build his legacy. They're slick about it. Oh yeah, you know, he's super middleweight champion. He beat Rocky Fielding. Who's Rocky Fielding? Don't get me wrong, I rate Canelo, but let's put things in their proper perspective. Canelo, I don't know where people are looking, but to me, it looked like Lara beat Canelo. But they're not going to give him credit for that. Okay, they're not going to talk about that. It's one rule for one set of people, another rule for another set of people. Okay? So Golovkin tonight or last night won't be exposed. No, he won't be exposed. He'll be not well. He'll be had an off night. But Spence, no, Errol Spence was exposed. Errol Spence was exposed. You see, I'm showing you nonsense. Now, Derevyanchenko versus Sean Porter. Let me give you Sean Porter's example. Two-time world champion, fought the best there is in the division against Errol Spence. Then you've got Golovkin versus Derevyanchenko. He just got beat by Danny Jacobs, who, in my mind, is a decent middleweight, but nothing great. Nothing spectacular about Danny. He's another workmanlike fighter. Not great, not spectacular. When's the last time you saw Danny Jacobs knock somebody out and go, that was amazing? See, he's another one of them guys. When's the last time, when you look at Golovkin, he looked great against Steve Rolls. He wasn't sitting there, was he? Huh? Look at Steve, look at this. Who the hell is Steve Rolls? Who's Steve Rolls? Who's Dominic Wade? Go through the Golovkin resume and you tell me who he has knocked out of worth, of substance. You could say, you know, it's a bad man he knocked out tonight, you know. And he top up that. No, it's not that. It's not that. But you look at the highlight reels of Golovkin knocking out guys that you can't remember the names of and you don't care for. And somehow that equates to him being a great fighter. No. A great fight is when you put the work in and you show the ethics and you actually demonstrate you are that great fighter by fighting other great fighters and beating them. You do not become a great fighter by fighting other great fighters or good fighters and struggling against them. You know, so we could say Canelo is we're going to say he's a very good fighter. Great. I'm not so sure about great. Very good. Because remember, Mayweather beat Canelo. And for all Canelo's improved, prime for prime, Mayweather will always beat Canelo because Canelo's flat-footed. He's flat-footed. And remember, Floyd's going to ping him with the right hand and go. Ping him with the right hand and go. And Canelo fights in spots. He fights in spots. He better not fight in spots like against Kovalev, but that's another conversation. Ingram, everything you said about commentators pushing narratives came to fruition. DAZN commentary was atrocious, almost criminal, because they're reading off a script. These people are not commentators anymore. They are puppets. They are not commentators. Please do not regard these people as commentators. They are script readers. They are not commentators. They are puppets. They are not commentators. Don't. People on YouTube are commentators. People that are on TV are puppets. Understand this. That's why they call it television. Television. Puppets. I tell you. Puppets. They say what the broadcaster wants them to say, not what's going on TV. So with the contract, part of the contract is also, I think I'm going to do a video just on the contract. Part of the contract also says this: when you fight, we will ensure that you sound great every time you fight. Even if you're getting your ass whooped, we'll make it look as if you're having a bad night. We won't give the opposition much credit because you are who we look after. We don't care about the guy that's fighting unless the guy makes us have to care. That's down to you. Don't get knocked out and we will look after you. When there are punches you throw, we're going to give it a little bit extra. Oh, that's a great shot from Golovkin. Derevyanchenko throws a punch. Good punch from Derevyanchenko. He's doing some good work here. Oh, great punch from Golovkin. Great work from Golovkin here. Fantastic work. You see the difference in commentary? You see the difference in commentary? So, of course, that also impacts the judges as well. You don't think so? When a judge hears you commentating and going on the commentary, oh, great work here from Golovkin, and the judge is sat not too far away from you, to me, that's a Golovkin round. The judge is there going, yeah, Golovkin, beep, Golovkin. Come on. Come on. Come on. Tell me I'm lying. Golovkin never showed separation when he stepped up between world-class level. Overhyped boxing that got media push because of his race. That is quite possible. That's quite possible because, yeah, that's quite possible. That's very, very possible. Very, very, very possible. It is what it is. I expect Jonathan Banks to get sacked. I expect him to get sacked. You know, because I don't think G takes responsibility. I think he'll sack Banks. You know, I think he'll sack Banks. And he's there for the taking. He's there for the taking. That was Derevyanchenko. Well, I'd like to see Golovkin versus Charlo. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see it. Right? A big, strong middleweight. Golovkin versus Matt Korobov. Wouldn't mind watching that fight. Golovkin versus Billy Joe Saunders. I wouldn't mind watching that fight. I'm not so fussed about the Billy Joe Saunders fight because, to me, I'm not. I think Billy Joe Saunders has got to fight somebody apart from David Lemieux. He needs to show something else now, man. Honestly, he's got to do something more for me. He's got to do something more for me. And now he's at super middleweight, less likely going to happen. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Derevyanchenko and Golovkin. Did I think he got beat? Yeah. If you take the contract away and the protection clause, then yeah. Yeah, Wilder was sick and Wayne 219 versus Ortiz. He made excuses for them though. Floyd had brittle hands after the Gatti fight. No one makes excuses. Wonder why. That's right. So there's one rule for them. One rule for them and another rule for us. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So do you know what? When Floyd says the things he says and does the things he says, I say, good for you, man. You go do it. And when Wilder does what he does, I say, good for you, man. You go do it. You go do it. You do you. And that's why he still remains, Deontay Wilder, the most electrifying, the most devastating, the most exciting fighter in world boxing today, because he guarantees you knockouts. Golovkin talks about it. Wilder is about it. And that's the difference. If anybody should be getting a $100 million contract now, it's Deontay Wilder, because he's laying guys out flat. Knockouts, entertainment, excitement. You've been to a boring Deontay Wilder fight? You've been to a boring Deontay Wilder fight? You Golovkin fans should be ashamed of yourselves. Really should. Really should. You let a man like Derevyanchenko, a small man like Derevyanchenko, who your boy was meant to blow out of the water, knock out, destroy, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Golovkin's going to easy work on him. You let a small man like Derevyanchenko back your boy up. Back him up. Back him up. Make him, you talk about running. Well, Golovkin's legs are too heavy for him to run, but he was backing up because he was getting hit with some body shots. All right. That's what a small guy did to him. What's a big middleweight going to do to him? A big middleweight that can punch. Huh? Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. But the only way guys like Golovkin, Lomachenko, the only way these guys are going to lose fights is if they get knocked out. The only way. No points, they have to get knocked out. They have to be stuck to the canvas. And for that, you have to have a certain mentality. And for that, certain fighters will not be fought. Because there's always the possibility you're going to get an ass kicking. You know, so they fought with Derevyanchenko. Oh, he's smaller. He's smaller. So yeah, we'll take that fight. He's smaller. That's it. Bully mentality. Smaller. If you're such a bad man, why don't you fight Charlo? Fight Charlo. Fight Charlo. Fight, you know, fight the best guys in your division now. That are, you know, middleweights, big middleweights. GGG lacks basic defense. Of course, he's always lacked basic defense. That's why I never bought into Abel Sanchez's philosophy that GGG was great defensively, because he never was great defensively. All the stuff you're seeing GGG do now, it's because he's slowed. But he was always fighting that way. He always fought with his face. Come on. Golovkin always fought with his face. Golovkin always fought with his face. You know, he's probably a better version than, what's that guy's name that fought Tim Bradley? The guy that fought Tim Bradley and dropped Tim Bradley and hurt him. Oh, and he was from Russia, I think. I think he's from Russia. I can't remember the guy's name again. And he always used to fight for his face as well. Golovkin reminded me of him. GG lacks basic defense skills. Derevyanchenko was pivoting around him, doing basic stuff, and GG had no answers and no adjustments throughout the fight. GG's only killer when you're standing in front of him. Can't deal with someone pivoting. I've said it before. Did I not say it? When I broke down my video of how to beat Golovkin, you know what? I need to become a boxing trainer. I need to be, because I've got to stop doing this talking. I need to become a boxing trainer. I need to stop doing this talking. I need to stop doing this talking, because I'm talking this stuff and I'm telling you, I'm breaking fighters down and telling you how to get beat, how to get beat. I'm telling you how to get beat before they get beat. I'm telling you to start. You need to have to beat these guys. Pivoting, movement. Same with Canelo. Canelo will fight guys. You watch the guys Canelo fights, and they're all following the Mayweather blueprint. They are Provodnikov. That's the guy, Provodnikov. Golovkin is just a better version of Provodnikov. Fights with his face the same way. When he gets exposed more, the better the opposition. Anybody who's got footwork, including Canelo, I say this, they're taking the Floyd Mayweather blueprints. They watch Floyd's career and they're doing what Floyd does. So Floyd he picked guys that suited his style. Guys who was able to be quicker than, guys who's quicker to counter, guys who's quicker to, was better, a better counter puncher than, guys he had better footwork than, guys he had better defense than, guys he could counter punch. Floyd studied these guys. He said, yeah, I'll fight you, I'll fight you, I'll fight you, because you're meat and drink to my style. Yeah, you may rough me up, but I'm gonna catch up with you and I'll give you a whooping. And that's what Floyd did. And these guys are doing the same thing. Watch the type of guys that Golovkin and Canelo fight. Flat-footed, not going to move too much. Just stand in front of them. That's the type of guys they like. That's why they won't fight a Lara. You know what I mean? Or a guy who's got good range and that can punch and can bang and will engage. That's why they won't fight certain guys. Watch the careers and the guys are fighting. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy behind a keyboard, well, behind a camera. You can see my face, having these statements and thoughts. So I'm not here. I mean, this can get thumbs down as much as you want, but I'm just telling you as it is. Golovkin's contract saved him last night. That's all. The $100 million or pound or whatever it was contract saved Golovkin. Golovkin didn't beat Derevyanchenko. DAZN beat Derevyanchenko. So I should change the title and make DAZN beats Derevyanchenko. DAZN includes the referee, the judges, the commentator, the organization. DAZN beats Derevyanchenko. So this ain't about two boxers fighting. It's about one guy fighting against the system. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my unbiased scorecard to you as to what happened last night. It might not be what you want to hear, but I want to see you argue it out with me. Why is it that Katie Taylor won that fight against that part-time police officer? Why is it that Josh Kelly, who was clearly getting outboxed and can only fight one way against Ray Robinson, why is it that Ray Robinson lost that fight? Because he's not signed with his own, or maybe he wants to do his own thing, or more importantly, he hasn't got that protection around him. He hasn't got the protection around him. And that's what it is. A lot of these guys that are free to do what they want to do are a threat and a problem. And Deontay Wilder is a threat and a problem because he's a free man to do what he wants. He's not a slave to certain things. He's not being told when to fight and who to fight and who to fight against. He does his own thing. And that freedom to do what you want is something that a lot of people don't get and don't understand. You know, you can say that you're free, but unless you're able to make your own decisions and you're able to do what you want to do, then truly you're still a slave, but you're just a well-paid slave. Think about it for a second. A well-paid slave. You'll fight when we tell you to fight. We'll give you the date. Just get in shape. Yep. So Golovkin, you did a silly thing getting rid of Abel Sanchez, because at least Abel Sanchez now can come out now and spin the PR and talk the stuff. You can't rely on anybody else. You certainly can't rely on Jonathan Banks to spin this fight for you, because Banks can hardly speak himself. So he's not articulate, Banks. That's why you need someone like Abel Sanchez there to talk the talk and tell us how invincible Golovkin really is. And, you know, think about it. Think about it. Who's going to talk for Golovkin? His interpreter? His promoter? He can't talk. He's not going to sell anything for you. So the only person who really could have done the job for him was Mr. PR, Mr. Spin, Mr. Golovkin's invincible. Mr. Golovkin could move up to heavyweight and knock out heavyweights. That guy, Abel Sanchez, or some people refer to him as Fable Sanchez. The boy did a good job. He did a damn good job. A damn good job. Because I spent time sitting down listening to Abel Sanchez go through all the middleweights in history, who Golovkin would have beaten, and how he would have moved up to super middleweight and beat them too. But he disappeared. He chipped at the right time, because I'd have been asking him some serious questions as to why he's getting backed up by a middleweight or welterweight. What happened to all that Mexican-style BS GGG was spewing? He was backing up for most of the fight. Elbows to the body and clinching to the later rounds. Why? Well, because that Mexican stuff came from Abel Sanchez. That was from the Abel Sanchez thing, right? Andrade would face GGG instead of Derevyanchenko after that performance. Hey, listen, I forgot to talk about my boy Andrade. He don't want any of that work. because that means him having to chase a guy down the ring and get coughed up in the process. You know, there's all it be is Golovkin walking forward like this, and Andrade hitting him like that, and then Golovkin's head moving back, Golovkin's head moving back, Golovkin moving forward, moving head back. Right, that's what you see, head going back. All right, 12 rounds. That's Golovkin. Put your head back. Yeah, just like that. That's Golovkin boxing. That's Golovkin boxing, right? For 12 rounds, and then you get this. You get this for 12 rounds, and then you get this at the end of the fight. You know what it means? You get this. You get the nod. I'm done. I don't talk no more about Golovkin. I'm done. I'm done. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and hey, I've got something real special for you today. I'm going to come back later, and I'm going to be talking to somebody from the ABC. I'm talking to somebody from the ABC, and you know who this is? You know what the ABC stands for? The Anti-Bullshit Commission. So we're going to be talking to somebody from the ABC today. The ABC, the Anti-Bullshit Commissioner, is going to be talking to us. Exclusive interview on BWTM. I tell you, it is something you need to listen to because this is very, very, very funny and a lot of truth. I've spoken to the ABC Commissioner and he's very funny, but he talks a lot of truth. A lot of truth. Remember when Abel was saying blacks don't have a pleasing style? Yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember he said something like that as well. Gigi was in survival mode for most of the fight, getting touched by a B-level dude with 13 fights. Remember, don't say that to Golovkin fans. Don't say that to Golovkin fans. They're not going to like what you're saying there. By the way, smash the like button while you're in the room, please. Smash it, please. Smash it, subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much. Again, don't forget to subscribe to BWTM Online. Subscribe to us here at BWTM Sports. Follow us on Instagram. Join us on our Facebook page at BWTM Online. All you guys and ladies in the room, hey, get in. And a special shout out to MZ, who gave us a follow on Instagram today. Much love to you. Thank you so much. We're out. Take care. Don't forget, anti-BS coming up.